Welcome to hashtag 52 Needs, and this week we are playing. And I am very happy to have with me Lisa Wood, who has a diverse background of experience over the last 30 years. She's worked with iconic brands such as Air New Zealand, Zero, and Virgin Australia. And she has previously held product management, agile coaching, and digital transformation roles. And she's currently a consultant for Neu21 and her own business, works in her own business, Courageous. Lisa facilitates, she coaches, she's a leader, and is passionate about understanding human behavior as the key for unlocking our success. I really like that because that's what I'm passionate about as well. As a curious and pragmatic change agent, she uses systems and critical thinking with an agile mindset to face challenges in complex situations and help people and teams discover better ways of achieving their outcome. So Lisa reminds people that no matter what the situation, it's the human elements that connects us, and she asks the hard questions to inspire important conversations leading to meaningful change. So welcome, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. And we're talking about play today. And I'm just wondering, is there room for play in business and in leadership? And are they the same, or can you have fun and play in business but not in leadership?
I think, great question. I think there is room for play in all aspects of life. So absolutely, regardless of your role or, where you are in business, in your personal life, I think play in its essence is part of being a human. And if you look back, when we're children, part of our development is play. And I think what's really sad is that we lose that over time as we grow up, and we start to think that that's not important anymore. But with that, we lose a lot of the benefits of what play brings. So absolutely room for it everywhere. And I'm a real big advocate of actually bringing it back for all of us.
So what are the benefits of playing?
So I think, what's wonderful about in today's world, we're actually getting much more scientific about the benefits. I think some of us who have just naturally, playfulness has been part of our life, and I'm definitely one of those people. We've felt the benefits already, but now science is backing it up. So, we're starting to see that people are more connected through play. Even in business now, they're starting to see that it positively impacts people's performance, how they collaborate. It definitely helps decrease absenteeism. So it's all those things that you kind of expect when people are feeling good about the work environment, and play has that benefit of making people feel good. Then all those wonderful outcomes are just part of the equation. And they're the things that organisations are looking for. They want to know how to decrease absenteeism. They want to know how to increase in performance. And yet they're a little bit, I think, possibly a little bit fearful to explore this world of play that we sort of put aside as we grew up. And now we're all suggesting, a lot of us are suggesting, actually, let's pick it back up again. We've lost something here.
Because we are, exclude me because I'm pretty, I don't know if it's silly or courageous. We can talk about that in a minute, but it's the fear of looking silly. And in business, we have this whole thing about it's got to be serious and it has to be respectful, and these boundaries that we put up so that we can be the person of authority. When in fact it connects us, as you said, and it increases creativity. And that's one of the things that people bemoan. I mean, companies I work with saying, oh, people are not creative anymore. They're just doing what they're being told. Well, put some play back into it and see what happens, right?
That's right. Actually, you've just reminded me, Angela, of a classic example when, I've been a coach for a lot of my career, and often that involves things like Post-it notes and, getting things out and in the open. And obviously there's lots of colours involved quite often. And I remember somebody coming along to me quite seriously and saying, this place is starting to look like a kindergarten. And I looked at it and I went, I know, it's great, isn't it? Because for me, that's creative. That's a creative process. There's creativity here. But I do understand, to your point, that somewhere along the way, somebody put some rules down that said, we do not play at work. It doesn't belong here anymore. And, I think through that particular era of business, when sort of that initial industrial revolution happened, things got very regimented. And I just wrote an article about it, actually about, being human at work and how we've actually created places that are more like suited for robots, to be fair. We've forgotten that we're building these places for humans. And so then, what does it mean to be human?
We are supposed to put our needs for, for family aside when we work, so work comes first. I mean, if I ask my clients, so if you have the choice between working and, working more and taking time off, what do you choose? And people often say, I work more. So when we prioritize that way, then play would be way at the bottom of the list of importance, because that's frivolous almost, right?
It's a great point. What I've found is that what we're learning is the things that are actually really, really important for us to be our best at work are quite counterintuitive. Play is one of them. Time away from work. You think, well, that won't make me feel productive. It actually does, that time out, but to let the mind relax. Some of our biggest, greatest thinkers of time actually had their greatest breakthroughs when they were walking or doing something completely different to work.
Sitting under a tree and having an apple fall on their head, yes.
Exactly. So I think what play is a little bit more intentional. It's something we do. So, but I think what I've discovered around play is what is play for me might be a little bit different for what play is for you, to your point about feeling silly. I think there's a lot of aspects of play. So it's not just about perhaps playing the fool and being silly. Play can be, discovery. Watching children in a lab discovering things, and for a lot of people that is play. That's playful.
Yeah,
that's exciting. That's stimulating, and that makes them happy.
Yeah. Whereas I love playing Scrabble, for example. That's my, and I have friends, and we play. We take a moment during the day, and I know that my friend in California just went ping a little while ago, and it's like, and it said Sabrina's just played a new word, and and I can get back to that today, or I can get back to it tomorrow, and then sometimes we may play 3 or 4 words in one go, but then we don't play any for a couple of days. But it's always with a comment and something like just connecting, and it's lighthearted, and we do all these little emoticons that go with it. And it's just fun, and it doesn't take much time, but it's a nice break from work.
Yes.
And it keeps me connected when I work by myself.
Lovely. And that's really important when we think about remote working. How important is that these days? So, and even in the workplace, I think coming from having worked in a lot of enterprises, and you feel sometimes a sense of almost a loneliness, even though there's a whole lot of people in the enterprise, that without a really good connection, you can still feel quite alone in those places. And I think what play does is it helps to connect in a different way. I might not be in the same business area as you, but you and I might love to play a game of Scrabble at lunchtime. And so we connect on that level. Similarly, I might like go for a walk at lunchtime, and somebody else might like to join me for a walk at lunchtime. So I think it's just got so many great benefits for people and organizations.
Yes, I know that companies like Pixar, for example, or Google, they have playrooms. They have all sorts of things where people can go and just take time, because they have identified that play is really, really important. And I know that companies, they put up a ping pong table or something like that, and that's all great, but it's the invitation to actually engage with that and not feel that you're taking away from work by doing that, because my sense is a lot of people feel guilty by doing that, and they feel that they're, and they are bosses, to be quite honest, to say, well, this is frivolous. And, it takes away from productive time that we're paying you for. And it's like, well, you know what? Time doesn't really matter. You can have an idea like that, and sitting at a desk for 3 hours, you might get that insight by playing ping pong for 10 minutes.
Exactly. And I think, we really need to help leaders understand this, because like you say, they will set the tone for an organization. And if they're looking, if they're frowning, they might put the ping pong table in because they're trying to look like they, are sort of offering that to get people at the door. But if they're really not engaged in the benefit of it, then, it'll defeat the purpose really, because people will feel guilty or they won't do it. And I've found this book I read quite a while ago by Sean Aker called The Happiness Advantage, because for me, play is, there's different types of play. So as long as you are getting the type that really gives you that feeling, there's so many benefits that it actually has this broadening effect. So if we're having fun, if we do something that we love and we're having fun, what we're able to do is we're able to actually see more broadly, which helps us connect things more broadly. So it actually has powerful implications for our creativity at work.
Yeah.
If we can help leaders understand this, then they will be going, fun is part of who we are. Fun is part of what we do. And then they can set that tone and becomes part of the culture. So I think it's really important they understand it.
Yeah. And we really need to, I think it's really important that we start reframing it, and really getting the message out and taking that almost that, again, this is, why do we need to play? And doesn't that look silly? And I'll be honest with you. I mean, a lot of play in corporate world is, we're doing role play at a corporate retreat. And I mean, you just have to, I know that all I have to do is mention the word role play and people shrivel up and go, oh, please, no role play. I sometimes do games with people where I don't explain the purpose, has absolutely nothing to do with the topic we're working on. And they're going, what are we doing this for? And I go, just play. Just put on your head of your child hat of discovery and just see where it takes you. Because if I tell you what this is for, you're going to be a good little adult and you're going to fulfill the learning goal. But you're not going to really explore. So let's just forget about this. But it doesn't really have anything to do with the topic. This is not what we're here to learn. Well, when we debrief it afterwards, generally people go, right, now I get the connection.
Yeah.
But it's that willingness to let go of that productivity. And I'm all in favor of productivity. I mean, I've got a program called Productivity Program, but it just doesn't mean that it's doing all the time.
Exactly.
It's also not doing. It's also being silly or whatever brand of fun you've got.
That's right. And I think, it's really important to understand, and you've touched on it there. We are now almost programmed not to play at work. So we can't necessarily just switch it on. And like you say, people are going to be a little bit fearful. They're going to be worried. Is this really, can I really relax and play? So I think if we are introducing it in our organisations, that we be a bit mindful of that. And, yes, we have to help people let go, get a bit uncomfortable. It's okay, to be uncomfortable, try and have fun, try and enjoy yourself. But also a bit like communication, there are different styles that certain people will really gravitate to. So it'd be nice to understand those, so you can introduce different types of play, or just encourage, do something during the day that is fun and playful. So I think just remembering that it's not going to be an easy, just let's all be fun and play now.
On command.
Do
you think that COVID has helped us with that? Because I mean, we are the boundaries between work and home have obviously blurred because we are at home. So it's okay. I mean, let me put it this way: it's okay to put on a load of work. Is it also okay now to play? Do you think that's helped with that?
It's a great question. I think once again, it's I've been really fortunate because the organisation I work in, we are, I think, playful by nature. So for us, and we've never had really big restrictions on what we do when, as long as we get our job is filled and the outcomes, clients are happy, that's job done. Doesn't matter if you did it at 8 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock in the morning or midday.
Yeah.
For organisations that are more structured, I think one is, first of all, they're having to get over the trust issue of people being at home, and I can't see now what they're doing. And so one is the leadership, once again, promoting, look, you're living at home now, it's all blurry, do what you need to do, but get your job done kind of thing. But secondly is yourself giving yourself permission to do it. Similarly to, is it okay if I go and put a load of washing on, or, I might go for, feed the dog, or whatever it is you need to do. Is it okay now? I might just go out and do my jigsaw puzzle for half an hour, or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So I think it's two ways.
I blow bubbles on the deck. I've got a bubble wand outside, and I go and blow bubbles.
You're very playful, aren't you? I love it. It helps. I've got my granddaughter when she comes over, and I get to play with her a lot, and it actually reminds me of how great playing is. So,
pets and children. I borrow my neighbor's dog, and she loves to burst bubbles. So so that's the advanced version then. But I always say borrow a child, borrow a pet, and that because they're so infectious in a good way. We need to be careful how we talk about infection these days. But so it's so play, and I think it's really, we can put play back into work, and as a leader specifically, without losing the respect. Because I think that's what people are, especially leaders, are afraid of, that if they show their playful side, that they lose their dignity and people will lose their respect. Do you think so?
You're probably right. And it's probably one of the really, really sad and unfortunate effects of the way that we've created our organizations and our culture and business up to this point. And I know it's changing. What I like to think about it, or how I like to think about it, is leaders just being human. I am not going to disrespect you because you're showing me you're a human being. In fact, if you show me you're a human, it might allow me to be a bit more human around you. So I think it's brave. Leaders do have to find their own bravery if it's not natural for them to be that way. And that's an area I love helping leaders with, really unlocking that human side of themselves. And leading the way for others. So if that is the way they think, that they feel they're going to lose respect, I think they've got it round the wrong way. I think that's a mindset that has just been formed out of this way of working up until this point in time. And I actually think they'll get more respect now if they are more human, and playfulness can be part of that. And it doesn't, I just want to be cautious here, because I think sometimes people think you've got to be bright and bubbly and, and playful, and you don't have to be. It's just about showing enjoyment, excitement, and that can come out in different forms of play. So,
cracking a joke every now and then, not taking things so seriously, all of that.
Laughing at yourself, that's a great thing to do. Yes. Your own little quirk. And I know my husband always laughs at me because I always make myself laugh. I laugh at myself a lot, but I'm not relying on anyone else to make me laugh. I can make myself laugh, and it's a neat thing to be able to do that. So love play.
Okay, so we need to laugh at ourselves. It's important that we start taking the label unproductive of play, and it's encouraging people to play also with each other. And it doesn't mean that you age regress to the age of 5, I think. There are lots of ways in which you can play as an adult. And I use the word as an adult and not adult play. So just so we're really clear here, okay?
Correct. Nice. Yep. Spelling that out clearly. Yes.
And bring that playfulness into work. And because, as you said, there's so many benefits. And it's important that because again, we're just prioritizing work over everything. And nobody has looked back at their life and said, gee, I wish I had spent more time at the office. I had been more serious in my life.
Exactly. And that's right, Angela. And the thing is, it's beneficial for everything, for your personal life, your well-being, for your work. It is absolutely going to benefit where you put your efforts in life, into your business or work or whatever it is you're doing. So, the effects are a win-win for everybody. So,
So in a nutshell, basically, everybody who's watching this, take the label silly and unproductive, or whatever label and judgment you've got of play, and just start doing it on a level that feels okay with you. Start slow. Again, you don't have to go all out there and feel really awkward about it. just do something that you enjoy. And if it's not fun, don't do it again. Just find something else. But and have fun with people around you. So that would be, if I may summarize it like that, that would be our conclusion, right?
Sounds great. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. It was absolutely delightful to talk to you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'll see you next week.